This is the real truth I'm trying to give you. Deep soul shadow truths. They're gonna help you not only put away the addiction, but forget about it so much that you never ever have to go back to it or even think about it, and that you live your life in a completely different way. Welcome back to the Sober Web. I am Clark. I'm really happy that you clicked on this video because maybe you're getting sober and you want to talk about how to deal with the stress and anxiety of it all. But before we get into those tips to deal with stress and anxiety, first, I want you to smash the like button if you're sober today. I don't care if it's 1 day, 10 days, 30 days, 60 days, 10 years. Smash the like button, celebrate yourself. And then in the comments, I really hope that you'll leave your sober date so that I can celebrate you in return and I can smash the like button for you. But now let's get into those tips about dealing with stress and anxiety when getting sober. I hope that you watch all three of these, but if you don't because you don't have the time or you just don't want to because that's the world that we live in, I hope that at least you'll jump to the third one. It might piss some people off. It might also just be really helpful because I'm just really candid with the third tip. The chapters are in the description below if you want to jump to that one. But otherwise, I really hope that you watch all three. And here's the first one. Let's say kind of a physical level. You've got to find a healthy outlet for the stress and anxiety, all right? I know that probably everyone preaches this, but it is really, really important. When I first got sober, I did CrossFit all the time. I'm a CrossFit coach, so I have a safe place, the gym where I coach. And when I was going through a lot of really hard stuff and getting sober at the same time, the pain I actually put myself in at the gym reminded me why I wanted to stay sober. So it alleviated not only the anxiety and the stress in that moment, but it also proved to me that I was strong and that I could sustain the pain both internally and externally. So you've got to find a way to get the anxiety and the stress and the anger and the frustration and the grief and the sadness. You've got to find a way to get it all out. I mean, there are just so many options. It depends on what you're into. Everyone is at different physical health levels, but something that's going to make us laugh or sweat or work or heartbeat, something that gets the aggression out, maybe martial arts for certain people or CrossFit for other people or just lifting weights for certain people, but running, hiking, yoga, meditation, even just being around other people that understand what we're going through can be really helpful. It can be AA. It doesn't have to be AA. Maybe it's the Sober Web. It's just anything that is a healthy outlet for the thirst or that desire for a fix, whatever the addiction might be. It's just about preventing those relapses from happening because we tap back into the emotions that push us back into old ways. Now, tip number 2 is going to get a little bit more deep. We're getting into a bit of a soul work that takes some time to start understanding what causes the anxiety and the stress. And it's about doing some work that lets us understand the fears that are at play or the grief that's at play or the trauma or the pain from the past that's causing the anxiety and the stress in the moment that in the past would have pushed us to use or delve into our coping mechanism that we use to hide from all of these feelings. This is a kind of a hard one, not one that people really want to talk about or hear because it's not simple, it's not a quick fix, but the only way to truly deal with stress and anxiety when getting sober is you have to understand why you're stressed and anxious. In the description below, there's lots of amazing books. These are books that I've used myself to better understand my internal self, my pain from the past, my grief, my sadness, my trauma, my anxiety, and my stress, because it all manifests ultimately as an addiction, but that addiction represents something deeper going on. So if you want to be able to deal with stress and anxiety, you've got to ultimately understand the triggers behind it all. You had a bad day at work, right? So in the olden days when we drank, a bad day at work or a stressful day at work or someone was mean to you, you would drink because it would alleviate some feelings or emotions going on. But ultimately that represents something perhaps with our ego that's taking place that also ultimately drives us to drink or use or whatever it may be because our ego's bruised or a fear was triggered up. Maybe a bad day at work makes us afraid that we're going to lose our job and that makes us stressed and anxious. So that's the kind of soul and shadow work I'm talking about that's going to help you ultimately down the road be able to maybe hopefully not even be anxious anymore. And if you get stressed, you're going to be able to alleviate those stressful moments within minutes because you'll understand exactly why you're feeling the way that you're feeling so that you can let it go. And although it's not a quick fix that maybe you're looking for right now, it is a long-term fix. This is the real way to deal with stress and anxiety when getting sober is by understanding the why, the trigger, the fear, and the emotions behind it all. All right, and finally, tip number 3, the one that I told you that might piss some people off because it's probably not what they want to hear, or maybe it will actually just be refreshing because it's just so honest. But when it comes to getting sober and dealing with stress and anxiety, the reality is you just have to deal with it. Like, life is never going to go away, all right? No matter how much we drink, no matter how much we use, life keeps going. The stressful moments, the anxious moments, the things that cause us to be afraid or sad or triggering up the trauma and the pain of the past that we already talked about, those things are never going to stop happening. You have to deal with the feelings and emotions of it all. Because every single time that you do, let's say that you are feeling such grief about some type of loss that happened, doesn't even have to be losing a loved one. If you can face that grief head on and stay sober, the next day you'll realize just how strong you are. And when you have those moments over and over and over, it just keeps building your strength and your resilience and your resolve to the point that eventually the stuff doesn't faze you anymore. Because, my friends, life is never going to change. Even when life is amazing, it's still going to take a turn where it's going to get hard. Things don't stop being difficult and stressful and filled with anxiety just because we're sober. Yeah, we have to face those feelings and emotions. That is the reality of the situation. So the biggest tip I can give you for dealing with the stress and the anxiety of getting sober, or just life in general, is like, you just have to deal with it. You've got to face it head on. You cannot run from it anymore. And eventually, it will no longer take a toll on you, and you will most definitely not use again, and you will most definitely not relapse again. And eventually, honestly, you won't even have the desire to. I promise you, it is so possible. All of these tips will help you short term, but more importantly, they will help you long term. Read the books in the description below. Watch this video over and over. Just subscribe to the channel so I can help you understand this stuff even more, because I believe in this stuff because I practice it. Because I was so full of anxiety back in the day when I would have a bad day at work, or I was afraid that someone didn't like me because they didn't text me back. That would seriously cause me so much anxiety. I would lose sleep over it, and then I would drink over it. But now I can, and I have faced some of the hardest things in my life that I've ever faced, and I don't even want to drink. Like, that's the crazy part. I have no desire to drink. Like, I just sit with it and I face it and I work through the emotions and I deal with it. And then I realize on the other side of it, I'm so much stronger because of all of it. So there you have it. 3 tips on dealing with stress and anxiety when getting sober. This is the real truth I'm trying to give you, because at the Sober Web, that's what this community is all about. It's about the deep soul shadow truths. They're going to help you not only put away the addiction, but forget about it so much that you never ever have to go back to it or even think about it, and that you live your life in a completely different way. So I hope that you got something out of the video. Please hit the like button if so. Again, leave in the comments your sober date so I can celebrate you. And also in the comments, let me know what you want to talk about, because that's how this video came about. And then look, I would really love your support. So I hope that you consider subscribing, because every subscribe, every like, every comment helps this video reach other people. So until I see you next time, much love, much life. Clark here with the Sober Web, over and out. And yeah, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.